This is the view I get every single morning. Is that not gorgeous?
Jack, what time is it? It's breakfast time. Yeah? It's breakfast time. What's in here? What's in here? Breakfast. Breakfast is in there. Give me breakfast.
Better? Sorry, I spilled it everywhere. Best breakfast. So here's Bertie's breakfast. He is currently on 200 grams a day because he is now... Oh, you can't see him because it's too dark. He is now a 2.5 kilogram cat. He is a big kitty cat at the moment. So he has... If I can actually get this out with one hand. I don't think I can. I'm going to have to pick it out. Lovely. He has bit of chicken wing, bit of pork stomach. Delicious. And there's some hearts and some livers in there too. There's a nice chicken heart. Delish. Totes. And he's only on 2 meals a day now. So I'm just going to sort of split this amount in half and give him that, and then he can have the rest for his tea. A nice Bertie. Does anyone else have a cat that plays with its food? Because Bertie plays with everything you feed him. In case anyone's new to the channel and has absolutely no idea what's going on with his food, Bertie does have the raw meat diet, which is basically their natural diet. It is 80% boneless raw muscle meat, 20% boned meat, and 5% liver and 5% other organs. So that is what makes up his daily diet. And it's pretty much the healthiest diet you can put a cat on, but it is extremely expensive, which is why a lot of owners don't do it. If you can do it, it's awesome for your cat. And it has brilliant, what's the word? Side effects isn't the word, the other word for that. Basically, you can tell when your cat has been eating a raw meat diet because they just look so much shinier and they're so much softer. He is amazingly soft. And he's been on this diet since he was very young. I can't remember exactly how old, but very, very young. Basically, since the beginning, he's been on the raw meat diet, and he has a really soft coat. He's a really muscular cat. It's a big cat. And he has a really lively, energetic personality. Now, whether that's down to the diet or whether that's just him, who knows? But it's nice to think that the diet has done that sort of thing for him.
Yes, you're so clean and lovely, aren't you? Who's a pretty cat? Who's a pretty cat? You a pretty cat? Yeah? Rah!
Thumbs up if your pets have a healthier diet than you, because that is certainly the case in this house. Cocoa Pops for breakfast. Wouldn't say it's ideally the healthiest breakfast I could go for, but tastes delicious.
If you're not on my Twitter or Instagram, then you probably don't know what's going on with the cages, and this probably looks a little bit strange to you. So to try and catch you up as quickly as possible, on Saturday morning I discovered that the wood of Einstein's lac cage was completely infested with wood mites, and that is a horrible situation. They don't have any effect on pets or humans or anything like that. They're not parasitic. However, they can have indirect effects, because in large numbers they do cause a lot of dust, especially in their feces and things like that, and this can lead to respiratory problems in both animals and people. And unfortunately, in large numbers, they can also completely destroy the wood of any kind of furniture. So unfortunately, we did have to remove Einstein from the cage, and the lac cage, which I loved and I'm completely devastated about losing, did have to be chucked out because, well, obviously you can't have an infestation of wood mites in a house which is mostly wood furniture. That would be horrendous, and of course I didn't want it to affect the pet's respiratory systems. So I was tweeting with you guys all of Saturday, and I was just so stressed out, and I just want to thank you guys because you were awesome on Saturday. You were all so supportive and giving out some brilliant ideas and suggestions and things. So what eventually ended up happening was to get Einstein into a new cage as soon as possible. I split the Detolf down the middle using a thick piece of wood and some fish tank sealant, which is non-toxic to pets, and you can find it in pet stores. And Einstein is currently living on the right hand side of the cage, and Amelais is currently living on the left hand side of the cage. I was really worried that Amelais was going to have a big tantrum about losing some of her space, But she really hasn't cared. In fact, neither hamster seems to even notice that they're in a smaller environment. Their behaviour has not changed, their eating habits have not changed, their exercise habits have not changed. Neither of them seems bothered by the wall at all. Amelie's hasn't been trying to sort of dig under it or climb over or anything, which is what I expected from her, because I thought she'd be trying to get to the rest of her cage, surely, but apparently not. So both hamsters are perfectly happy right now. They're perfectly content, which I'm very happy with. Now, anyone wondering about the size of the Detolf itself is massive. So when you split it in half, each half of the cage is 500 square inches thereabouts, and it is considered a perfectly suitable home no matter where in the world you live, whether you live inside Europe or outside of Europe. Half of a Detolf cage is considered a perfectly suitable home. So there's absolutely no worries there in terms of space or anything like that. No worries at all. The only thing that annoys me is my own personal likes when it comes to cages, and I just love giant cages. So it's really kind of been difficult for me to get used to having slightly smaller cages, and the hamsters have adapted to it much, much quicker than I have. But you know what? Seeing them happy and seeing them basically not being bothered about the whole situation has really helped me to feel better, and you guys have really helped me to feel better, reassuring me that, you know, they're in perfectly fine cages, and they're happy, so what's to worry about, really? I have, of course, been asked if and when I will be getting Einstein a new giant cage again, and I have said it won't be anytime soon because financially right now we are completely strapped for money. Unfortunately, there's a ridiculous amount going on. It's that time of year where things just get really, really busy. You all know we're, of course, saving for an apartment. We need to move out in early spring of next year, and that is going to be so expensive because we have to buy all of our furniture and all the supplies for a house, and we, of course, have to save up to get an apartment to live in. But also, in November, I have to take a trip to the UK for a week. My father has been seriously ill for over a year now, and it's got to the point where I do need to go and see him as soon as possible. And also, my brother has moved his wedding forward to November, so in that first week of November, I have to go to the UK for a week to go to the wedding and to see my dad. Dan will be staying here with the pets in case anyone's wondering what's happening with those. And unfortunately, because the trip clashes with the UK's school holidays for that time of year, it means the flights are stupidly expensive. So I have to pay a ridiculous amount of money for a flight. I have to, well, 2 flights, a return flight. I have to pay for a hotel, for travel costs while I'm there, food, and clothes as well, because in the UK it's freezing cold at that time of year, and it's a lot colder than it is here in Cyprus, and I just don't have the type of clothes that are suitable for that freezing cold environment. So I do have to buy some new clothes for going out there as well. So it's an expensive trip. Unfortunately, it's something that has to be done. It's unavoidable. Trying to save money as much as we can on that side of things. And then straight after it is, of course, December, the holiday season, the most expensive time of the year. And then right after December is when we're going to be looking to move out. So it's all crazy with money. So I'm really glad that the hamsters are quite happy with this right now. As long as they're happy, I'm happy. I'm really trying not to stress about it too much because the cages are perfectly good sizes, both hamsters are happy, and it's just my own personal likes and dislikes when it comes to cages that's really causing the situation to be stressful. So we are going to try and get Einstein back into a giant cage as soon as possible, but the likelihood is that it won't be any time this side of Christmas just because of all the financial troubles. It may not be until we move out, but the good side of that is that once we move out, we'll have loads more space, so we can get him a huge cage. If it does come to that, that is what I'm seeing as the bright side. So hopefully it won't come to that, but, you know, we got to see a silver lining in this thing. Now, before anyone asks, I will be doing a video on how I split the Detolf, also a video on how I made the lid for Einstein's half of the cage, because Einstein can climb out of it, so I put a lid on there just to keep him extra safe, and I will be putting a lid on Amelie's side sometime soon as well, so I'll do a video on how I made the lid, and I'll also be doing cage tour videos, because of course you'll be wanting to see those as well, so don't worry, those videos are coming. I just need you to bear with me, and, you know, just understand that this is all a bit crazy for me right now. Oh, also, if you're not on Twitter and Instagram, you're missing out on Einstein's updates. As you can see, Einstein is back on Aspen, which means his belly fur has grown back through. That is one of the best possible things that could happen. It's brilliant. He doesn't have any bald patches on his stomach now. He does still have bald patches on his back, and the fur there isn't showing any signs of growing through just yet, and his weight is yo-yoing up and down. So he's not completely in the clear, but we're seeing his belly fur coming back as a really positive thing. He is just as happy and energetic and excited and lovely as he's always been. So, yeah, no, Einstein's doing great as well.
So I just brought up a couple of vegetables for Jackaboo. Vegetables and fruit today, actually. We have some, what is this? We got lettuce, that's romaine lettuce, a little bit of cabbage leaf, a little bit of banana, because he had some banana in the fridge, but it's just starting to turn and just starting to go a bit gloopy, but it's still perfectly safe to eat. Some orange pepper, and a tiny bit of apple that still had the seed in. Almost missed that then. Let's get that out of there. There we go, and a little slice of apple. He doesn't get to have fruit that often, but we seem to have a load of it in the fridge at the minute, so I thought he might as well have a little bit, since he doesn't get it very often. This tends to be what Jack has as a treat, is fruit. He has vegetable on a regular basis, but because fruit is kind of high in natural sugars, and so are commercial treats, they're even higher in natural sugars than anything else, he does get to have fruit as a treat, which he enjoys because he doesn't get to have it often, and it tastes delicious, doesn't it, Jackaboo? Oh, I can't remember if I said broccoli. So I've also got some fresh stuff for the hamsters. This is Amelaise's little pile. She's got a little bit of romaine lettuce, which can go straight in a bowl. She's got a little bit of broccoli and a little bit of orange pepper. Now the hamsters normally only eat red pepper, so I don't know whether she's going to bother eating that or not. We shall see. We shall find out. And for Einstein, he has a little bit of apple, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of broccoli, and a little bit of romaine lettuce. Amelaise obviously can't have the apple because she is a non-pure winter white and they can be prone to diabetes, so I'd rather not risk it, and I just avoid giving her fruit like this altogether. The most wholesome crab you will ever see. Look who's awake! Little Amy! You're not normally up this early, did I disturb you? I'm sorry, sweetheart. I think she smelt the dish though. Yeah, there she goes. Food. Go on, you can do it. You can do it. I'm not quite tall enough. People have actually asked if Amelaize has the ability to climb out of this cage. I would just like to show you the difference between the height of the cage and the height of Amelaize. She can't even reach a 3-inch shelf. I'm pretty sure she's safe in here. Nope, she's given up. Apparently the food isn't worth walking a couple of inches round and climbing up the ladder. So she's just gone back to bed. Oh well. Here we go, Fluffy boy's awake. Hey Einstein. Well, that was obviously delicious broccoli. And there goes the lettuce. This boy loves fresh food so much. Oh, can you fit the apple in? I don't think you can. Haha, it's too big. You're so cute, Einstein. Is that tasty apple? Is that nice? Keep your energy up, help you get better quicker. Yeah, it will. Yeah, oh, and there we go. Can I fit it in the treat yet? Can I? Nope. They always look so weird when they're stuffing things in their pouches. It's kind of demented. Oh, there he goes. I give up. I'm just going to take it with me. I'm covered all in the aspen. You fluffy mess. A downside to having a rabbit, you get hay everywhere. I've only just refilled his hay box and there's hay everywhere. All the time. All over everything. Over my socks, over the bed, over the floor, in the garden, out on the balcony. We've got our lovely fake grass because apparently you can't grow grass on the face of the sun. So we have nice fake grass, and unfortunately it gets full of hay. And when it's full of hay, you have to vacuum it. And you don't half look odd when you're out on your balcony vacuuming grass. I've just finished filming my cheap pet pillow video and Bertie is crashed out on the pet pillow. You're such a cutie. And your pudding pop. Is that comfy? Yeah? Yeah? Best €2 I ever spent, isn't it? Yes. Oh, look at that sleepy boy. Ah, can't help but love a cat. They're just so adorable. Jack would not stop pulling this around the floor a minute ago. He was literally dragging it back and forth. There is hay everywhere. So I have done a very clever thing, maybe not so clever, but slightly clever thing. And I have filled the bottom of his hay box with these nice heavy stones to stop him dragging it over. Now hopefully that's either going to stop him dragging it over, or he's going to tip it over and get hay and stones and everything everywhere and make a huge noise. So fingers crossed it's the first one. So people have been asking what program I use to make the thumbnail images for my main channel videos, and I use Photoshop CS4. I've always used Photoshop CS4 for my main channel. On my second channel I actually use PicMonkey.com, which is a brilliant website for making thumbnail images. But what I do is I have sort of like a template set up here where I have the size of the thumbnail image. I can't remember exactly what size it is. You'd have to look it up online to find out what it is. And I have my little border here, erinshamsters, and I literally just open up this file and then I take a screenshot from the video, and this is from the pet bed video, and I just select everything in that picture, copy it, and I'm using the shortcuts, which is why you can't see me doing anything on the screen, and then I just paste it into this little clear box here. And then from there I just adjust it, I can add text to it, basically do anything I want to it after that point. Dun 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 dun. Little Indiana Jones hamster. Yeah. Go on. Make the jump. You can do it. Boop. So squeaky.